Don't count them out because they are coming back to the US, and by they, I mean LG. How's it going, guys? I'm Aaron from PhoneDog.com, and LG, at least in comparison to Samsung and HTC and even on a greater level, Apple, haven't had quite the success as their Android counterparts in the US. They're attempting to change that with the LG Optimus G. It's coming to AT&T and Sprint with some slightly different specs. Is this the device to get this holiday season? We'll find out in the full unboxing. LTE quad-core and coming on November 2nd to AT&T. That's a pretty good combination considering that this device is going to be available in time for the holiday season. This is the LG Optimus G. It's another device from AT&T. We saw this at AT&T Unwrapped briefly in New York, and now the review unit is in. Special thanks to AT&T and to LG for giving us a review unit, and special thanks to our friends at Best Buy Mobile as well for giving us devices like this for use in our One-Pawed Bandit giveaway game, which we give to you on the site at instantwin.phonedog.com. When you walk into Best Buy Mobile, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, Sprint, or T-Mobile, they'll make sure you're hooked up because they're unbiased. They'll recommend what's best for you at Best Buy Mobile. So we'll take a look here at what comes in the box. Quick start, you've got new apps, an AT&T kind of pamphlet, and then you get product safety and warranty information, as well as your USB cable and a travel adapter. Of course, we want to take a look at this. LG's travel adapter looks like that. AC adapter module right there, and of course a standard, relatively standard USB cable. Nothing else comes out of the gate. But coming in at $200, this is going to compete with the One X and a slew of other devices on not only AT&T, because they're getting quite a few devices in time for the holiday season, but just in general on various carriers. The Galaxy S3, which is also available on AT&T, several Droid devices on Verizon, the Droid Razr Max HD, the Droid Razr HD, and more. So it's coming in, but it's LG's flagship device for the holiday season, and I expect it to sell relatively well if you're looking for a quad-core device with some decent specs. Speaking of specs, it's packing a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core Snapdragon S4 Pro processor. It's got a 2,100 milliamp hour non-removable battery, AT&T logo on the back. Interestingly enough, they're kind of like switching in between just using the Globe and on some of the newer devices using Globe and AT&T like they were on older devices. At first, I thought it was a transition they were doing from kind of an older, logo with AT&T to a newer one, but I still saw this on some of the other devices at AT&T Unwrapped. So I'm assuming they're still using AT&T logo text as well. So volume rocker over here looks like our SIM card slot. Looks to be a micro SIM card. Let's see what we can do here to pull it out. And of course a micro SD card slot as well. And there is an SD card pre-installed in here. We'll take a look and get you the goods here as to what comes out of the box. But this is one of the ones that's packing an 8 megapixel camera. So Sprint's version has a 13 megapixel camera. This one only has an 8 megapixel camera. And let's see, pull the tab to open the SIM card slot, position the SIM face up. Let's take a look. It looks like, I'm having a hard time getting that one out, but you got a 16 gigabyte micro SD card slot, and my fingernails are not long enough to get that SIM card out. Let's see. There we go, bingo. And a micro SIM card slot with a micro SIM card, obviously, pre-installed. And now, let's see if I can get that back in there. There we go, bingo. We want LTE, so we can take a look at that in the unboxing. 3.5 millimeter headphone jack up top, your power button over here on the right side, and you got your 8 megapixel camera on the back with 1080p HD video recording. So AT&T opted for the 8 megapixel camera. You'll notice, if you've seen these before, if you took a look at our first look videos of the LG Optimus G, you'll notice 8 megapixels, it does not raise itself above the device. So that's something AT&T opted for. On the Sprint version, like I said, 13 megapixel camera, but you do get a little bit of a bulge in the back. So Sprint decided that bulges are okay. AT&T said, you know what, we want a flat device because we don't want a bulge. We don't want no bulge. And so that's why they did that. I mean, obviously they have a million reasons why they could do it. I have no idea, but that's at least what ran through my head. So beautiful display here. 4.7-inch IPS HD display. It's running Ice Cream Sandwich, so it's running the ice creams and not the jelly beans, as I like to say, or the beans, as I call it for short, with LG's user interface. It's been drastically improved since we've seen LG's user interface, and when it debuted several years ago on devices like the LG Revolution on Verizon Wireless. There are some improvements here. This device is clearly a very fast device. This is intended to be a strong competitor on the LG front of the Galaxy S3, the Galaxy Note 2, the HTC One X Plus, and the other hot Android devices, the Sony Xperia TL that's coming out a little bit later in the year as well. And then apps-wise, we'll take a look at what comes out of the gate. But beautiful display, these HD displays, really nice to see, and it's nice to see them coming at, priced here that's still kind of expensive. $200 is expensive for a lot of people, but still, given the fact that they were debuting when 4G LTE devices first came out at $299, it's always good to see those prices drop ever so slightly, even though I still think $199 is still too much for a lot of people. AT&T code scanner out of the gate, AT&T family map, AT&T locker, navigator, ready to go, smart Wi-Fi. Let's see how fast I can rattle all these off. Share stuff over here. You got your downloads and widgets folders up top, so you'll see apps that I've downloaded, which obviously I just pulled it out of the box, so I haven't downloaded anything. Widgets over here, nothing there, and then of course I can come over here and I can change them around and add stuff as I see fit and take care of that. So out of the gate, like I said, all that AT&T stuff, Live TV, NFC Tag Plus, which is an LG application for their NFC tags. My AT&T, got some LG stuff as you're seeing here, Video Wiz, you're seeing Notepad, and of course custom icons for music, phone, and more. But this thing is a fast device. I'm going to be excited to do some speed tests on this device to see how fast it is in comparison to other devices. They're also running quad-core processors, the Note 2, the One X Plus, and more. 8-megapixel camera, like I said on the back. Let's take a look at the text messaging application and load up LG's keyboard here so you can see again. HD display, beautiful display here, IPS display with 1280 by 768 pixels. Actually, I said that backwards, 768 by 1280 pixels. And very, very impressive on the display front. So we'll say the Quick Brown Fox is happy that he has some new phones to play with. Quick Brown Fox is happy he has some new phones to play with. Portrait to landscape, nice and fast here on the transition front. Again, it's a plasticky device, so if you like Samsung devices and the overall build quality of Samsung, you may like this device. If you're looking for something a little bit more sturdy, perhaps something like the One X Plus or the iPhone 5, something in terms of build quality like that, this may not be your device. And I meant to say as well, micro USB charging port at the bottom, not to flip around too much, but you do have that down there at the bottom. But again, portrait to landscape, nice and fast, beautiful display. Like I say all the time on video, the camera is not doing it justice. It's a very gorgeous display, and I'm excited to get some more hands-on time with it. Also, now that we have 4G LTE and NFC loaded up, which we'll go ahead and turn off NFC. And while we're looking at that, this is another feature that I really enjoy on this device. Take a look at this. Edit, for example. And I love some quick settings. And welcome to AT&T. Well, thank you. Thank you very much. That's so nice of you. I'm so glad to be here. And then, of course, you got editabilities, like I was saying before. AT&T welcomed me with a little phone warming party there, if you will. So I've got these little quick access settings here at the top, so when I go to the notifications bar, I can access those. Well, let's say I use Wi-Fi on a regular basis. Let's say I use Bluetooth on a regular basis. Don't really use NFC that much, but I do use some GPS. And I use airplane mode because I flew 107,000 miles last year, so I'm constantly turning my phone off and on, or at least turning it on airplane mode as I'm traveling. I can do that, and then I can come back in here and you'll see that my popular ones are automatically moved over, and I can get rid of them as well. So that little customization bit is really nice, as is this. We'll go in here and take a look, and you can see it's kind of similar. It reminds me a lot of TouchWiz 4, back in the days of like the Galaxy S2, where you had one-stop shop here for apps, downloads, widgets, and wallpaper, so I can see my 7 home screens from here, and it looks like 7. Let me make sure. 1, 2, 4. Actually, it looks like just 3. I was just kidding. Maybe let's go ahead and see what we can do here. There we go. Let's add a few more here and see what maximum we can do. Looks like 7. Yep, perfect, 7. And we'll set this as the default home screen, just so we have the one in the center set as default. And I can scroll back and forth pretty quickly and pretty easily through these. And again, take a look at how fast this device is. Very impressive there. And we'll take a look at the browser also. PhoneDog.com, we'll load it up. Again, I've been using Chrome for quite some time now, and I've been really impressed with Chrome overall. And then here you'll see down at the bottom, Facebook, like, share, popular, and news. And I can scroll back and forth and take a look, and kind of a Pantech look and feel here with this sports, entertainment, settings, and more. Reminds me a lot of the Pantech Flex, which is also on AT&T. So the browser is very similar there. And of course I can add tabs. But again, very responsive all around, incredibly fast device. LG's stepping up their game. They've been criticized quite a bit. They're stepping it up with quad-core processors, ice cream sandwich, and more. And some capacitive buttons as well, back, home, and then menu. And then to get recent applications, press and hold home, and you can easily access it. Very fast. Will it sell? And will it sell with the numbers of something like the Droid line, perhaps the Galaxy S3 line, or the upcoming Note 2 line? We'll have to wait and see. Keep it locked on PhoneDog.com. In the meantime, stay tuned for some dogfights. Ooh, I don't like that. Portrait to landscape. I have to find a way to turn that off. It drives me nuts when that does that from the home screen. But again, personal preference. We'll take a look at that in the full review. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage of the LG Optimus G on PhoneDog.com. AT&T's newest smartphone, one of many that are coming by the end of the holiday season, for a pretty reasonable, comparatively speaking, $200. Keep it locked on the site for continuing coverage. Hit me up on Twitter. Let me know what you think of this. PhoneDog_Aaron on the Twitters. Facebook, Facebook.com/PhoneDogAB. And let us know what you think of our greatest tech giveaway ever, too. We're giving away some awesome devices at Facebook.com/PhoneDog. Check it out and be sure to enter the giveaway. Thanks so much for watching. Keep it locked on the site for more dogfights, reviews, and more of the Optimus G as we get in all of AT&T's devices and more for the holiday season. I'll see you next time.